don't need to prove yourself. Not to people who already misunderstood you. Not to people who decided who you are without asking. Not to people who only see what confirms their opinion. Trying to prove yourself is exhausting. It starts subtly. You explain your intentions. You clarify your tone. You defend your choices. You over-deliver. You try to show that you are responsible, capable, loyal, intelligent, worthy. You try to correct every assumption. You try to fill every gap in understanding. And still, it is not enough. Because the problem was never your effort. The problem was their perspective. You cannot force someone to see you clearly if they are committed to seeing you through their own filters. No amount of explaining will change a mind that is already decided. No amount of achievement will convince someone who benefits from doubting you. When you constantly try to prove yourself, you slowly lose your center. You begin to perform instead of live. You start measuring your value by reactions. You analyze how your words might be interpreted. You hesitate before speaking. You shrink parts of yourself that feel misunderstood. You soften your opinions to avoid conflict. You become careful instead of authentic. That is not confidence. That is survival. You were not meant to live in a constant state of justification. Your worth does not increase because someone finally recognizes it. Your worth does not grow when someone finally approves. It was there before the approval, and it remains when the approval never comes. There is a difference between growth and proving. Growth is internal. Proving is external. Growth is about becoming better for yourself. Proving is about convincing others you are already enough. And the truth is, you are already enough. The need to prove yourself often comes from a deeper fear, a fear of being misunderstood, a fear of being overlooked, a fear of not being chosen. But chasing validation rarely leads to peace. It leads to dependency. When your sense of value depends on how others respond to you, your emotional stability becomes fragile. A compliment lifts you. A criticism crushes you. A delayed response makes you question yourself. Silence feels like rejection. That is too much power to give away. Confidence is quiet. It does not argue endlessly. It does not over-explain. It does not demand applause. It stands calmly in its truth. You can clarify yourself once. You can express your intentions clearly. But after that, you must allow people to choose their interpretation. You cannot manage every perception. You cannot edit yourself into universal acceptance. Trying to be understood by everyone is a losing battle. Some people will misunderstand you because they see the world through their own experiences. Some will project their insecurities onto you. Some will doubt you because your growth makes them uncomfortable. None of that defines you. What defines you is how you respond. When you stop proving yourself, something shifts. You stop reacting to every opinion. You stop defending every decision. You stop explaining your boundaries to people who refuse to respect them. You conserve energy, and that energy returns to you as clarity. You begin to focus on people who see you without effort. You invest in relationships where understanding feels natural. You work on goals because they matter to you, not because they impress someone else. There is freedom in no longer needing to be validated. It does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop chasing approval as proof of your existence. You do not need to prove your intelligence. You do not need to prove your kindness. You do not need to prove your ambition. The right environments will recognize these qualities without interrogation. If someone constantly makes you feel like you must earn basic respect, that environment is misaligned with your growth. Respect is not a reward for performance, it is a standard. When you constantly try to prove yourself, you send a quiet message to yourself that you are not enough as you are. That message becomes internal dialogue. It becomes self-doubt. It becomes anxiety. Stop sending yourself that message. Instead, send yourself a different one. I know who I am. I know my intentions. I know my effort. That is stability. You can grow without proving. You can improve without performing. You can achieve without announcing. Silence is powerful when it comes from certainty. Let your consistency speak. Let your actions build credibility over time. Let your calm presence replace long explanations. If someone chooses to misunderstand you after you have been honest, that is their decision. You are not responsible for carrying it. Not everyone will see you clearly. Not everyone will appreciate you fully. Not everyone will agree with you. And that's okay. You were not created for universal approval. You were created for authenticity. Stop adjusting your personality to avoid being questioned. Stop minimizing your success to avoid intimidating others. Stop softening your truth to make it easier for someone else to accept. You do not need to prove your value in rooms that do not recognize it. Choose rooms that do. Choose conversations that feel respectful. Choose relationships that feel reciprocal. When you stop proving yourself, you begin to protect yourself, and protection creates peace. If this message resonates with you, pause for a moment and think about where you might still be over-explaining. Awareness is the first step towards confidence. If you found clarity in these words, consider liking this video so it reaches someone else who needs this reminder. And if you want more calm, honest lessons about growth, boundaries, and self-worth, subscribe to Human Lessons 87. Your support helps this message reach more people. You do not need to prove yourself. You only need to be yourself.